Hi everyone, I'm going to demonstrate how to make a multicam video sequence. Okay, the first thing you need to do is to import the 4 files, which you can see I've imported them down into my project window. So firstly, I opened up Premiere, created a new project and created a new sequence. That sequence, as you can see here, I've called multicam video. Now the first thing I need to do is to drag my videos onto the timeline. I'll just keep the existing settings there. Next, I'm going to double click on the first clip. What I want to do is sync up each of these videos so I can take them into the multicam function. First thing you need to do, click on a video, and there's several ways you can do this, but I'm going to do it this way to start with. Click on it, and in the preview window, play. We want to get that clap exactly right on, because that's our sync mark. Okay, I've hit stop there. Now I can scroll back and forth with these arrows, or I can use the arrow key on the keyboard, which I prefer. So I'm going to use the left arrow, and then the right arrow, and I want to get that clap exactly right. That's it. Okay, so I've got that where I like it. I'm going to hit the M key, or I can go into marker and add a marker. Okay, and you might look down the timeline here, you can see that my marker's right there. Okay, the next one, I'll just drag that onto the timeline, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to double click on it, open it in the preview window, and I might just scroll ahead a bit here until I get where I want. Okay, that looks about right. Then I'm going to use the arrow keys. Okay, and if you look over in the corner, we saw that the audio peaked at that moment as well. Okay, that's exactly where I want it, so I'm going to create a marker, or I can just hit the M key, and you'll notice there's a marker there as well. Okay, so I'm going to drag in number 3, and I'm going to do the same thing, double click to preview it. I'm going to drag the preview head along. Okay, I know it's around there, so I can step back, or I can just use the arrow key to do that on the keyboard. Okay, that looks good. And I'm going to set a marker. And you notice down on the timeline here, I've set a marker. Okay, I'm just going to pull in the 4th of our sounds, or our video files I should say. And you'll notice there that I've actually got a space there. I might just tidy that up, and the easier way to do that is just to select them all, go into sequence, delete tracks, delete audio tracks, and I only want to delete the empty tracks here. So I'll hit OK, and there we are, we're back in place. So I'm going to click on deselect, click back on number 4 because I haven't put a marker in yet. And I'm just going to scroll along a bit. That looks about right. And I'm going to use my arrow keys, the left and right ones on the keyboard, to inch along. There we go. I can hear the sound and I can see the hands are together. So I'm going to put a marker there. So I've added my markers. That looks really good. Okay, so all I need to do now is select all. And the next thing I want to do is to select my 4 videos, go into clip, down to synchronize, and I want to select, out of all of these options, I want to select the clip marker. That's what I want to sync with. And watch what happens when I hit OK. You'll notice that all the markers now have been synced. They're all perfectly in line. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so the next step is, after I've got those 4 videos in sync, I need to create a new sequence. And I want it to match the one I've got before, so it's AVC HD, 1080, P25, 25 frames. And I'm going to call this one a multicam edit. And then hit OK. And you'll notice now that we've got our multicam video here and our multicam edit. We've got two sequences. So to start to work with my multicam edit, all I need to do now is get my multicam sequence from the project window here. So my multicam video, and I'm going to drag it across into my multicam edit sequence right here. Okay. So we can see I've got that there. So one thing to get before I get started on this multicam edit is I just need to check a few things. So I'm just going to highlight my sequence, so make sure it's selected. Then I'm going to go up into clip, up here, choose multicam enable. Okay, so I know it's enabled now. Now there's one more thing I need to do, and that's to go into the window and make sure the multicam monitor is on. Okay, now if I scroll forward a bit here with the timeline indicator, you can notice that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 clips there. That's my multi-camera, so it's the same scene filmed from 4 different angles or 4 different perspectives. Okay, so how do I work with this? I can use my multicam window. I can take my timeline back indicator back to the start, hit play. So, and you'll see they should all be synced. Okay, that looks good. All right. So I've tested that. I'm going to hit the record button and I'm going to play it. So pretty much now, like obviously I wouldn't need to keep this initial bit where we've got the clapped hands, but now I can actually move from file to file. I might change the angle there. Obviously I would want to do this so it actually makes sense. Here we go. Might change direction. And then I'm going to stop. And what you'll notice is that those changes have instantly been recorded down on the timeline. So I'm going to play through on the timeline now. And you'll notice all my edits are there. Okay, so in a case where I don't want a particular edit, it's as simple as going back to a start point of your choosing. I'm going to come here, hit play again. And then stop. And what you'll notice is that this section of the timeline has updated itself. Okay, so I might go through that just one more time. So I'm going to turn off my multicam window there. I'm going to shut that down. I'm going to delete this section. And I'm going to go through the process of bringing the multicam video in again. So I grab my multicam sequence, drag it into the multicam edit sequence, make sure that I have multicam enabled. Yes, I do. And then I'm going to go in and open up the multicam monitor. And there we have, we can see our 4 pieces of video. And when I'm ready, I just hit play and it automatically starts to record. and then hit stop, and you can see I've put down that sequence there. If I want to do some more, I might just scroll ahead so I can see up here what's going on, or I can see in this multicam window, and then hit play again, and as I move, selecting whichever view I want, then hit stop, it sets down these edits down in the timeline. Okay, so that's how to do a multicam.